think about it, like our lives are like a clock. You know, not just from the time stamp perspective, but from the perspective of like not a digital clock, like a actual, I guess, analog clock. You know, with the gears and everything like that. Each gear, although different sizes, although different, you know, shapes in essence, fit still within this clock, and they all turn simultaneously to help each other. You feel what I'm saying? That's what our lives are like. So if we take one gear out and say we don't put another gear in, the whole clock stops. You feel what I'm saying? But if we take a gear out and then we replace it with something else, does that new gear now offset everything else? Could it jam the clock? You feel me? Because you know the old gears, they may have had wear and tear on them, but they still work together because they all had the same wear and tear together. You feel what I'm saying? But this new gear can pretty much offset. So it's like with this life, like when people we're taught and we're conditioned to change. You know, change is good. Don't get me wrong, change is good. But sometimes change isn't enough. Feel what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to evolve. And evolution is a complete change inside and out. Like everything transitions. Nothing can remain the same. And a lot of times that's why our successes in life don't come to us the way we need them to. Because we weren't prepared in a full totality for what we had to go into. And we can ultimately sabotage it because we're not. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're just willing to change one piece of you as you go into another level of life, you're liable to come backwards. You're liable to slide backwards. You're liable not to be what you need to be to sustain that. You know. Now I get it. Some people get that mindset of, I don't want to forget who I am. It's not forgetting who you are or where you come from. No one ever said forget those things. But there's behavior, there's attitude, there's actions that you currently have that are going to keep you from your next level of life because you won't let them go, because you feel like you'll be losing yourself. To be honest, you're not losing yourself, but you're becoming more of who you really are. You feel what I'm saying? But I get a lot of times it's hard because we need safety, we need security. And security comes from comfortability. Safety comes from comfortability. Like, you know, that's where you feel you're safest. But how much are you really growing? How much are you really changing? How much are you really evolving? You see what I'm saying? A metaphor that I like to use is, you know, when I was a kid, I used to watch Pokemon and Digimon. And both of them transformed. Both of the little monsters transformed and shit. But Digimon would change back. You feel what I'm saying? They call it digivolving. They would change back to the original form after the purpose was served. You feel what I'm saying? Pokemon, on the other hand, once they evolve, they evolve. They don't go back. They can't. They become a whole different Pokemon, whole different skill set, whole different, you know, like transition. You feel what I'm saying? In some cases, a different species. Like, if we actually focused on evolution, not just change, I think we could get a lot farther than where we at. And I say that because it's like, when we look at change, it's to serve a purpose. You feel what I'm saying? We can't just change to serve a purpose. We need to evolve to eradicate the need for a purpose to be served. You feel what I'm saying? But it gets tricky with that because it starts with you. And when we live these lives where these inspirational, motivational speakers say, you're great enough, you're good enough, you're this, and this. How about we be realistic, and what if you're not? Now, I'm going to go further, but what if you're not what they're telling you are? But you believe that you are. You feel me? Now, this is not to say that you are not that, but what if you currently are not that, but somebody's telling you you are? So because they're telling you that you are, you're not even trying to become what you're really supposed to be. Because you feel you're already there. But see, this comes back into knowing who you are. Because if somebody else can tell you that you're prepared for something that you're not prepared for, then what is your input in